Hi, my name is Ashleigh Campbell and I have a lived experience of mental ill health, a very extensive lived experience, 20 years now. During my childhood I went through extreme childhood abuse and trauma. I lost my mum when I was 14, basically raised my younger siblings, which was hard for a 14-year-old trying to go to school and have a life and all of that stuff. Excuse me. So I've been in and out of all types of services over the last 20 years, including clinical services. In my experience, I was given a lot of band-aid solutions. My family weren't supported at all, and I quite distinctly remember during one hospital admission a psychiatrist telling my family members in front of me that this is it. This is as good as it will get. She won't get any better. Deal with it. And I can't imagine what that felt like for them. Other hospital admissions that I had, terrifying. Terrifying. Getting to a point where I was in so much distress that I wanted to end my life. I didn't want to be here anymore. Despite having an amazing, loving family, my mental distress was just, it was too much, and I didn't want to be here anymore. To have to experience that and then seek emergency help, crisis help in a hospital, I can't even explain how scary that was and how continuous it was. It was a revolving door system, it was in and out, and I was medicated. At one point I think I was on 6 or 7 different psych meds at once. I had no idea what they were doing. I just knew that they weren't working. But I was always seen as a diagnosis. I wasn't seen as a person. I was seen as a bed warmer. Given medication, have my medication changed until I presented normal or well enough to be discharged back into the community with no referral pathways, just back into my life, although it wasn't much of a life, it was an existence. I was breathing, so I guess that's life, but there was no value to it. I didn't care. I didn't care about anything, especially myself. And being in that place, such darkness, it's a dangerous place to be when you don't care. Sorry. I never thought that I would make it to the age of 30. A couple of weeks ago I turned 34. Don't judge me. And the reason that, I don't know why I thought that I'd never make 30. It was just a number in my head. Something that I didn't think was going to happen. Until luckily, I had a hospital admission, and from there I actually got a referral on discharge to a community-based organisation called Richmond Wellbeing. Well, at the time it was Richmond Fellowship, now known as Richmond Wellbeing. And I had an outreach worker for about 2 years. And it was, we were able to relate to each other. I was treated like a human, which was really different for me, so it kind of took me a long time to actually respond to that and receive that, let down the barriers. And after about 2 years of seeing her, in 2016, I was in a pretty dark place yet again. My accommodation was really unstable. I was studying, my mental health was deteriorating, and she referred me to a residential support program that was being run by Richmond Wellbeing, and it was called Recovery House. And I'd never heard of it before. I don't think anybody had. I think I was part of the second ever group to do that program. I went in there to do this 12-week live-in intensive mental health recovery program. I'd never done anything like it before, and I thought, what the heck? I've got nothing to lose, but this is it. If this doesn't help, then I'm done. And unbeknownst to the staff, I had my goodbye letters written in my bags because I didn't have any hope. This much. There was nothing. It was my last shot, literally. And I think I packed my room up 3 times in the first 4 weeks. This is way too hard, it's way too confronting. All of a sudden, people were interested in my experience and who I was. And for the first time in all of those years of accessing treatment and support and help, somebody said to me, "Don't tell us what's wrong with you. Tell us what's happened to you." That was huge. That was when I stopped packing up my room to leave. My family were involved. My family were invited in. My family were welcomed in for the first time. And I'm quoting one of my aunties here. It was the first time that they had been asked to be actively involved in my recovery, and what that meant to her in particular can't be expressed. For the first time, they had hope that I was going to be okay. And even though I still didn't have a lot of that hope, the staff that were delivering the program, they held that hope for me. Not forever, just until I was strong enough to hold myself. They taught me, many things. I had to confront myself. Have any of you ever actually had to look at yourself? That is hard. That is hard work, actually having to look at you. But doing that, I was able to see that my experiences weren't because of me. They didn't happen because of me. They happened to me. That I wasn't broken. I wasn't unfixable. I wasn't worthless. I wasn't a number. I wasn't a label. I wasn't in a box. I was Ash. But I was seen as a person for the first time. Changed my life. Saved my life. And I'm now so proud and privileged and grateful that, one, I made it beyond 30. I mean 34, I'm getting close to 40, but you know. But I also work for Richmond Wellbeing now as a mental health residential recovery support worker at Recovery House. To be able to work with the team, be a part of that team that walked with me through that part of my journey, you know, it's a blessing, honestly. You know, there are times where it's like, oh, maybe they know me a bit too well. Can't really hide much from them, you know. But having those people see me at my very, very worst and still accept me without judgment, warts and all, and embrace me as I am, and encourage me, and, you know, highly encourage me at times when I needed it. I feel very lucky, and I have my life back. I'm working in a sector that is very close to my heart. So, you know, when you're doing something that you love, is it work? You know, it is. But, yeah, if it wasn't for that, that service being available to me and being accessible and being open, so open, not just to me but to my loved ones, to my friends, to the people that cared about me, to the people in my life that had just as little hope as I did for my recovery, I wouldn't be here.